Gray by E.L. James. Read by Richard Lee Givens. Monday, May 9th. I have 3 cars. They go fast across the floor. So fast. One is red, one is green, one is yellow. I like the green one. It's the best. Mommy likes them too. I like when Mommy plays with the cars and me. The red is her best. Today she sits on the couch staring at the wall. The green car flies into the rug. The red car follows. Then the yellow. Crash! But Mommy doesn't see. I do it again. Crash! But Mommy doesn't see. I aim the green car at her feet. But the green car goes under the couch. I can't reach it. My hand is too big for the gap. Mommy doesn't see it. I want my green car. But Mommy stays on the couch staring at the wall. Mommy, my car. She doesn't hear me. Mommy. I pull her hand and she lies back and closes her eyes. Not now, maggot. Not now, she says. My green car stays under the couch. It's always under the couch. I can see it. But I can't reach it. My green car is fuzzy, covered in gray fur and dirt. I want it back, but I can't reach it. I can never reach it. My green car is lost. Lost. And I can never play with it again. I open my eyes and my dream fades into the early morning light. What the hell was that about? I grasp at the fragments as they recede, but fail to catch any of them. Dismissing it like I do most mornings, I climb out of the bed and find some newly laundered sweats in my walk-in closet. Outside, a latent sky promises rain, and I'm not in the mood to be rained on during my run today. I head upstairs to my gym, switch on the TV for the morning business news, and step onto the treadmill. My thoughts stray to the day. I have nothing but meetings, though I'm seeing my personal trainer later for a workout at my office. Bastille is always a welcome challenge. Maybe I should call Ella. Yeah, maybe. We can do dinner later this week. I stop the treadmill and head down to the shower to start another monotonous day. Tomorrow, I mutter, dismissing Claude Bastille as he stands at the threshold of my office. Golf this week, Gray? I scroll at him as he turns and leaves. His parting words rub salt into my wounds because despite his heroic attempts during our workout today, my personal trainer has kicked my ass. Bastille is the only one who can beat me, and now he wants another pound of flesh on the golf course. I detest golf, but so much business is done on the fairways, I have to endure his lessons there too. And though I hate to admit it, playing against Bastille does improve my game. As I stare out the window at the Seattle skyline, the familiar NU seeps into my conscience. My mood is as flat and gray as the weather. My days are blending together with no distinction, and I need some kind of diversion. Continue confined to my office, I'm restless. I shouldn't feel this way, not after several bouts with Bastille, but I do. I frown. The sobering truth is that the only thing that interests recently, my decision to send 2 freighters of cargo to Sudan. This reminds me, Ross is supposed to come back to me with some numbers and logistics. What the hell is keeping her? I check my schedule and reach for the phone. Damn, I have to endure an interview with the persistent Miss Kavanaugh for the WSU student newspaper? Why the hell did I agree to do this? I loathe interviews. Inane questions from ill-informed, envious people intent on probing my private life as if she's to blame. Yes, I snap at Andrea as if she's to blame. At least I can keep this interview short. Miss Anastasia Steele is here to see you, Mr. Gray. Steele? I was expecting Catherine Kavanaugh. It's Mrs. Anastasia Steele. Who's here, sir? I hate unexpected. Show her in. Well, Miss Kavanaugh is unavailable. I know her father, Eamon, the owner of Kavanaugh Media. We've done business together, and he seems like a shrewd operator and a rational human being. This interview is a favor to him, one that I mean to cash in on later when it suits me. And I have to admit, I was vaguely curious about his daughter, interested to see if the apple has fallen far from the tree. A commotion at the door brings me to my feet as a whirl of long chestnut hair, pale limbs, and brown boots dive head first into my office. Repressing my natural annoyance at such clumsiness, I hurry over to the girl who has landed on her hands and knees on the floor. Clasping slim shoulders, I help her to her feet. Clear, embarrassed eyes meet mine and hold me in my tracks. They are the most extraordinary color, powder blue and ghoulious. And for one awful moment, I think she can see right through me and I'm left exposed. The thought is unnerving, so I dismiss it immediately. She has a small, sweet face that is blushing now, an innocent pale rose. I wonder briefly if all her skin is like that, flawless, and what would look like pink and warmed from the bite of a cane. Damn. I stop my wayward thoughts, alarmed at their direction. What the hell are you thinking, Gray? This girl is much too young. She gapes at me, and I resist rolling my eyes. Yeah, baby, it's just a face, and it's only skin deep. I need to dispel that admiring look from those eyes, but let's have some fun in this process. Miss Kavanaugh, I'm Christian Gray. Are you all right? Would you like to sit? There's that blush again. In command once more. I study her. She's quiet. There's that blush again. In command once more. I study her. She's quite attractive. Slight, pale, with a mane of dark hair, barely contained by her hair tie. A brunette. Yeah, she's attractive. I extend my hand as she shudders the beginning of a modified apology and places her hand in mine. Her skin is cool and soft, but her hand shakes surprisingly firm. Miss Kavanaugh is disappointed, so she sent me. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Gray. A brunette. Yeah, she's attractive. I extend my hand as she shudders the beginning of a mortified apology and places her hand in mine. Her skin is cool and soft, but her hand shakes surprisingly firm. Miss Kavanaugh is indisposed, so she sent me. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Gray. Her voice is quiet, with a hesitant musicality, and she blinks erratically, long lashes fluttering. Unable to keep the amusement from my voice as I recall her less than elegant entrance into my office, I asked who she is. Anastasia Steele. I'm studying English literature with Kate. Catherine. Miss Kavanaugh at WSU Vancouver. A bashful, bookish type. She looks it. Poorly dressed, her slight frame hidden beneath a shapeless sweater, an A-line brown skirt, and utilitarian boots. Does she have any sense of style at all? She looks nervously around my office, everywhere but at me. I note, with amused irony, how can this young woman be a journalist? She doesn't have an assertive bone in her body. She's flustered, meek, submissive. Bemused at my inappropriate thoughts, I shake my head and wonder if first impressions are reliable. Muttering some platitude, I ask her to sit, then notice her discerning gaze appraising my office painting. Before I can stop myself, I find I'm explaining them. A local artist, Trouton. They're lovely. Raising the ordinary to extraordinary, she says dreamily, lost in the exquisite fine artistry of Trouton's work. Her profile is delicate. An upturned nose, soft, full lips, and in her words, she has captured my sentiments exactly, raising the ordinary to the extraordinary. It's a keen observation. Miss Steele is bright. I agree, and watch, fascinated, as that flush creeps slowly over her skin once more. As I sit down opposite her, I try to brittle my thoughts. She fishes some crumbled sheets of paper and a digital recorder out of her large bag. She's all thumbs, dropping the damn things twice on my boss coffee table. It's obvious she's never done this before, but for some reason, I can't fathom. I find it amusing. Under normal circumstances, her maladroitiness would irritate the hell out of me. But now I hide my smile beneath my index finger and resist the urge to set it up for myself. As she fumbles and grows more and more flustered, it occurs to me that I could refine her motor skills with the aid of a riding crop. Adeptly used, it can bring even the most skittish to heel. The errant thought makes me shift in my chair. She peeks up at me and bites down on her full bottom lip. Fuck. How did I not notice how inviting that mouth is? Sorry, I'm not used to this, she says. I can tell, baby, but right now I don't give a damn because I can't take my eyes off your mouth. Take all the time you need, Miss Steele. I need another moment to marshal my wayward thoughts. Gray, stop this now. Do you mind if I record your answers? She asks, her face candid and expectant. I want to laugh. After you've taken so much trouble to set up the recorder, you ask me now? She blinks, her eyes large and lost for a moment, and I'm overcome by an unfamiliar twinge of guilt. Stop being such a shit, Gray. No, I don't mind. I don't want to be responsible for that look. Did Miss Kavanaugh explain what the interview was for? Yes, to appear in the graduation issue of the student newspaper, as I shall be giving the commencement address at this year's graduation ceremony. Why the hell I've agreed to do that, I don't know. Sam in PR tells me that WSU's Environmental Sciences Department needs the publicity in order to attract additional funding to match the grant I've given them. And Sam will go to any length for media exposure. Miss Steele blinks once more, as if this is news to her, and she looks disapproving. Hasn't she done any background work for this interview? She should know this. The thought cools my blood. It's displeasing, not what I expect from someone who's imposing on my time. Good. I have some questions, Mr. Gray. She tucks a lock of hair behind her ear, distracting me from my annoyance. I thought you might, I say dryly. Let's make her squirm. Obligingly, she does. Then pulls herself upward and squares her small shoulders. She means business. Leaning forward, she presses the start button on the recorder and frowns as she glances down at her crumbled notes. You're very young to have amassed such an empire. To what do you owe your success? Surely she can do better than this. What a dull question. Not one iota of originality. It's disappointing. I trot out my usual response about having exceptional people working for me. People I trust. Insofar as I trust anyone, I pay well, blah, blah, blah. But Miss Steele, the simple fact is, I'm brilliant at what I do. For me, it's like falling off a log, buying alien, mismanaged companies and fixing them, keeping some, or if they're really broken, stripping their assets and selling them off to the highest bidder. It's a simple question of knowing the difference between the two. And invariably, it comes down to the people in charge. To succeed in this business, you need good people. And I can judge a person better than most. Maybe you're just lucky, she says quietly. Lucky? A friction of annoyance runs through me. Lucky? How dare she? She looks unassuming and quiet, but this question, no one has ever suggested that I was lucky. Hard work, bringing people with me, keeping a close watch on them, and second-guessing them if I need to. And if they aren't up to the task, ditching them. That's what I do, and I do it well. It's nothing to do with luck. Well, to hell with that. Flaunting my erudition, I quote the words of Andrew Carnegie, my favorite industrialist. The growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership. You sound like a control freak, she says. And she's perfectly serious. What the hell? Maybe she can see through me. Control is my middle name, sweetheart. I glare at her, hoping to intimidate her. Oh, I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele. And I'd like to exercise over you, right here, right now. That attractive blush steals across her face and she bites that lip again. I ramble on, trying to distract myself from her mouth. Besides, immense power is acquired by assuring yourself in your secret reveries that you were born to control them. Do you feel that you have immense power? She asks in a soft, soothing voice, but she arches a delicate brow with a look that conveys her censure. Is she deliberately trying to goad me? Is it her question, her attitude, or the fact that I find her attractive that's pissing me off? My annoyance grows. I employ over 40,000 people. That gives me a certain sense of responsibility, power, if you will. If I were to decide I was no longer interested in the telecommunications business and sell, 20,000 people would struggle to make their mortgage payments after a month or so. Her mouth pops open at my response. That's more like it. Suck it up, baby. I feel my equilibrium returning. Don't you have a board to answer to? I own my own company. I don't have to answer to a board. She should know this. And do you have any interests outside your work? She continues hastily, correctly, gauging my reaction. She knows I'm pissed, and for some inexplicable reason, this pleases me. I have varied interests, Miss Steele. Very varied. Images of her in assorted positions in my playroom flashes through my mind, shackled on the cross, spread eagled on the four-postered splayed over the whipping bench. And behold, there's that blush again. It's like a defense mechanism. But if you work so hard, what do you do to chill out? Chill out? Those words out of her smart mouth sound odd, but amusing. Besides, when do I get time to chill out? She has no idea what I do, but she looks at me again with those ingenious big eyes, and to my surprise, I find myself considering her question. What do I do to chill out? But she looks at me again with those ingenious big eyes, and to my surprise, I find myself considering her question. What do I do to chill out? Sailing? Flying? Fucking? Testing the limits of attractive brunettes like her and bringing them to heel? The thought makes me shift in my seat, but I answer her smoothly, omitting a few favorite hobbies. You invest in manufacturing. Why, specifically? I like to build things. I like to know how things work, what makes things tick, how to construct and deconstruct. And I have a love of ships. What can I say? They transport food around the planet. That sounds like your heart talking, rather than logic and facts. Heart? Me? Oh no, baby. My heart was savaged beyond recognition a long time ago. Possibly, though there are people who'd say I don't have a heart. Why would you say that? Because they don't know me well. I give her a weary smile. In fact, no one knows me that well, except maybe Elena. I wonder what she would make of a little Miss Steele here. The girl is a mass of contradictions. Shy, awkward, obviously bright, and arousing as hell. Yes, okay, I admit it. I find her alluring. She recites the next question by rote. Would your friends say you're easy to get to know? I'm a very private person. I go a long way to protect my privacy. I don't often give interviews. Doing what I do, living the life I've chosen, I need my privacy. Why do you agree to do this one? Because I'm a benefactor of the university, and for all intents purposes, I couldn't get Miss Kavanaugh off my back. She's badgered and badgered my PR people, and I admired that kind of tenacity. But I'm glad it's you who turned up and not her. You also invest in farming technologies. Why are you interested in this area? We can't eat money, Miss Steele, and there are too many people on this planet who don't have enough food. I stare at her, poker-faced. That sounds very philanthropic. Is that something you feel passionately about? Feeding the world's poor? She regards me with a puzzled look, as if I'm a conundrum. But there's no way I want her seeing into my dark soul. This is not an area open to discussion. Move it along, Gray. It's shrewd business, I mutter. Feign boredom, and I imagine fucking that mouth to distract myself from all thoughts of hunger. Yes, her mouth needs training, and I imagine her on her knees before me. Now that thought is appealing. She recites her next question, dragging me away from my fantasy. Do you have a philosophy? If so, what is it? I don't have a philosophy as such. Maybe a guiding principle. Carnegie's. A man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled. I'm very singular driven. I like control of myself and those around me. So you want to possess things? Yes, baby. You for one. I frown, startled by the thought. I want to deserve to possess them. But yes, bottom line, I do. You sound like the ultimate consumer. Her voice is tinged with disapproval, pissing me off again. I am. She sounds like a rich kid who's had all she's ever wanted, but as I take a closer look at her clothes, she's dressed in clothes from some cheap store like Old Navy or H&M. I know that isn't it. She hasn't grown up in an affluent household. I could really take care of you. Where the hell did that thought come from? Although now that I consider it, I do need a new sub. It's been, 2 months since Susanna? And here I am, salivating over this woman. I try an agreeable smile. Nothing wrong with consumption. After all, it drives what's left of the American economy. You were adopted. How much do you think that shaped the way you are? What does this have to do with the price of oil? What a ridiculous question. If I'd stayed with the crack whore, I'd probably be dead. I blow her off with a non-answer, trying to keep my voice level. But she pushes me, demanding to know how old I was when I was adopted. Shut her down, Gray. My tone goes cold. That's a matter of public record, Miss Steele. She should know this too. Now she looks contrite as she tucks an escaped strand of hair behind her ear. Good. You've had to sacrifice family life for your work. That's not a question, I snapped. She startles, clearly embarrassed, but she has the grace to apologize and she rephrases the question. Have you had to sacrifice family life for your work? What do I want with family? I have a family. I have a brother, a sister, and 2 loving parents. I'm not interested in extending my family beyond that. Are you gay, Mr. Gray? What the hell? I cannot believe she said that out loud. Ironically, the question even my own family will not ask? How dare she? I have a sudden urge to drag her out of her seat, bend her over my knee, spank her, and then fuck her over my desk with her hands tied behind her back. That would answer her ridiculous question. I take a deep, calming breath. To my vindictive delight, she appears to be mortified by her own question. No, Anastasia, I'm not. I raise my eyebrows but keep my expression impassive. Anastasia. It's a lovely name. I like the way my tongue rolls around it. I apologize. It's, written here. She's at it again, with that hair behind the ear. Obviously, it's a nervous habit. Are these really not her questions? I ask her, as she pales. Damn, she really is attractive in an understated sort of way. No, Kate, Miss Kavanaugh, she compiled the questions. Are you colleagues on the student paper? No, she's my roommate. No wonder she's all over the place. I scratch my chin, debating whether or not to give her a really hard time. Did you volunteer to do this interview? I ask. And I'm rewarded with her submissive look. She's nervous about my reaction. I like the effect I have on her. I was drafted. She's not well. Her voice is soft. That explains a great deal. There's a knock at the door, and Andrea appears. Mr. Gray, forgive me for interrupting, but your next meeting is in 2 minutes. We're not finished here, Andrea. Please cancel my next meeting. Andrea gapes at me, looking confused. I stare at her. Out now. I'm busy with little Miss Steele here. Very well, Mr. Gray, she says, recovering quickly and turning on her heel. She leaves us. I turn my attention back to the intriguing, frustrating creature on my couch. Where were we, Miss Steele? Please, don't let me keep you from anything. Oh, no, baby. It's my turn now. I want to know if there are any secrets to uncover behind that lovely face. I want to know about you. I think that's only fair. As I lean back and press my fingers to my lips, her eyes flick to my mouth and she swallows. Oh, yes, the usual effect. And it's gratifying to know she isn't completely oblivious to my charms. There's not much to know, she says, her blush returning. I'm intimidating her. What are your plans after you graduate? I haven't made any plans, Mr. Gray. I just need to get through my final exam. We run an excellent internship program here. What possessed me ever to say that? It's against the rules, Mr. Gray. Never fuck the staff, but you're not fucking this girl. She looks surprised, and her teeth sink into that lip again. Why is that so arousing? Oh, I'll bear that in mind, she replies, though I'm not sure I'd fit in here. Why do you say that? I ask. What's wrong with my company? It's obvious, isn't it? Not to me. I'm confused by her response. She's flustered again as she reaches for the recorder. Shit, she's going. Mentally, I run through my schedule for that afternoon. There's nothing that won't keep me. Would you like me to show you around? I'm sure you are far too busy, Mr. Gray, and I do have a long drive. You're driving back to Vancouver? I glance out the window. It's one hell of a drive. And it's raining? She shouldn't be driving in this weather, but I can't forbid her. The thought irritates me. Well, you better drive carefully. My voice is sterner than I intended. She fumbles with the recorder. She wants out of my office. And to my surprise, I don't want her to go. Did you get everything you need? I ask in a transparent effort to prolong her stay. Yes, sir, she says quietly. Her response floors me. The way those words sound, combing out of that smart mouth, and briefly I imagine that mouth at my beck and call. Thank you for the interview, Mr. Gray. The pleasure's been all mine, I respond, truthfully, because I haven't been this fascinated by anyone for a while. The thought is unsettling. She stands and I extend my hand, eager to touch her. Until we meet again, Miss Steele. My voice is low as she places her hand in mine. Yes, I want to flog and fuck this girl in my playroom. Have her bound and wanting, needing me, trusting me. I swallow. It ain't going to happen, Gray. Mr. Gray? She nods and withdraws her hand quickly, too quickly. I can't let her go like this. It's obvious she's desperate to leave me. It's irritating, but inspiration hits me as I open my office door. Just ensuring you make it through the door, I quip. Her lips form a hard line that's very considerate. "Mr. Gray," she snaps. Miss Steele bites back. I grin behind her as she exits and follow her out. Both Andrea and Olive look up in shock. Yeah. I'm just seeing the girl out. "Did you have a coat?" I ask. "A jacket?" I give Olive a pointed look, and she immediately leaps up to retrieve a navy jacket, passing it to me with her usual simpering expression. Christ, Olive is annoying, mooning over me all the time. The jacket is worn and cheap. Miss Anastasia Steele should be better dressed. I hold it up for her, and as I pulled it over her slim shoulders, I touch the skin at the base of her neck. She stills at the contact and pales. Yes, she is affected by me. The knowledge is immensely pleasing. Strolling over to the elevator, I press the call button while she stands fidgeting beside me. "Oh, I could stop your fidgeting, baby." The doors open and she scurries in, then turns to face me. She's more than attractive. I would go as far as to say she's beautiful. "Anastasia," I say, in goodbye. "Christian," she answers, her voice soft, and the elevator door closes, leaving my name hanging in the air between us, sounding odd and unfamiliar, but sexy as hell. I need to know more about this girl. "Andrea," I bark as I return to my office, "get me Welch on the line, now." As I sit at my desk and wait for the call, I look at the paintings on the wall of my office, and Miss Steele's words drift back to me, raising the ordinary to extraordinary. She could so easily have been describing herself. My phone buzzes. "I have Mr. Welch on the line for you." "Put him through." "Yes, sir." "Welch, I need a background check."